Sunday Struggle Podcast. The Sunday Struggle Podcast. The Sunday Struggle Podcast. Say here. Whoa. Episode 10.
Woo-hoo!
We
Welcome
hit
back
10.
to another episode.
We hit 10. So,
the Sunday Struggle.
I already know what I want to talk about.
Okay, we're jumping into the topics.
Into this. Okay, did I tell you? Okay, this is going to be very like TMI medical stuff, right?
Okay.
Did I tell you I had hemorrhoids?
No.
Okay. So I got hemorrhoids like 4 years ago when I was a little baby boy.
Okay.
And
4 years ago equals a child.
Yeah, because what, I was 17? I don't know.
How old are you?
No, I actually got them I probably had them for like 6 years.
Okay.
Holy shit. No, 5 years. 5 years. We'll call it 5 years.
In between.
Yeah. So pretty much they were like really bad when I first got them when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And then they went away and fine, right? And
Cream,
they're still kind of there.
Uh-huh.
But like no issues. And then recently it's been feeling like I'm having a baby when I go to the bathroom, right? So like terrible. That it's terrible, right?
I feel like I've been having that too. Like you feel like, but I've never had hemorrhoids, but like you feel like when you like even though you're not trying to push, it's a lot of pressure and pain when you're trying to poop.
It's not even that.
Oh.
It's just like when it comes
are they on the
out,
outside or the inside?
They're outside.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think my pressure is like on the inside.
Oh, okay.
Push it out.
You know you can
Isn't
just
that a hernia?
I don't know.
I think that is a hernia. Like
You're the medical
if
expert.
you push too hard, you can get a hernia, but I think a hernia is in here somewhere.
Oh, okay.
I think.
I don't know.
Don't quote me on it.
Yeah.
Let's ask Nick. We'll bring him in and he can discuss
honestly.
it.
But no, so recently they flared up. So I had to go to the doctor.
Hopefully you have a female doctor.
Yeah, I made sure. So I go, right? And like, so this is the first time I've ever had to like, because I've never gone to physical. So I've never had to have my junk out, right? I don't.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's not
You've never had a physical?
No.
Wow.
Because I've never needed one.
You should still get a physical every
I
year
know,
for your own
I
health.
probably should, I know.
Now he's going to keep it up, because if you had a physical a long time ago, she would have told you, here you go. This is to manage your hemorrhoids if they have a flare-up.
Well, actually, okay. So, yeah. So, whatever. So, here's the thing. I'm very honest with doctors, right?
That's
so, like,
good.
I tell
You
them
should
everything. I'm like, so this is how it is. This is how it be.
You should
this
be
is how it
100%
do.
honest.
Like, whatever, right? So, I told her everything, and then, like, she's like, okay, I'm going to have you undress. So, to me, it's just so uncomfortable. Like, I was like, this is the first time I'm having to do this. And so, pretty much, like, so she gives me the thinnest sheet to like cover my everything, right? And so I'm like, so she's like, okay. She like knocks and she's like, we're good. And I'm like, yeah. And I'm just standing there because I'm like, I don't know what you want me to do, because I'm not gonna bend fully over because I don't know what you want me to do yet. She's like, so you just lay to your side. I'll lift it up, check. We'll be done. That's it. You don't have to do anything. I was like, okay, that's good. Thank you. And so I like lay to the side, feel her lift my butt cheeks up.
She spread them cheeks up.
Yeah. She's like, let me get my light. And I'm like, oh my God.
She's like digging for gold.
Yeah, I was just like laying there and I just felt, and I was like, ugh. And then she's like, yeah, I can definitely see that they're inflamed, definitely see some redness. And I was like, okay. Yeah, thank you. And but the shit that was the funniest to me is the fact that while I'm laying there, junk there. No, that would have been terrible. I would have held it.
Okay. Well, some people can't.
Oh, okay. Well, I can.
Okay.
So, yeah. So she like puts it back up and she's like, okay. And she walks around to talk to me. She talks to me for like 5-10 minutes while I'm just laying there holding my shit. Like, I'm like, ma'am, please. Can you not just...
Can I get dressed first?
Just turn around. Just let me put my fucking pants back on. Like, this is so uncomfortable. Because it's like the thinnest little sheet.
Oh,
like,
so it's
I'm
really
like,
small.
and it's like tight on my like, and I'm like, yeah, that's great, thank you. And like, yeah. So that was uncomfortable. And so now
doctors have like kind of no spatial awareness,
or
they just don't care.
Yeah, they don't give a shit. Well, they have to see. She just had to look at my hairy asshole.
That's like me today.
Like
this morning I saw a old lady's saggy titties and vagina and butt cheeks when I had to take her back from the hospital.
Nice.
She said, "If you don't mind seeing an 80-year-old woman's titties, do you mind helping me get my nightgown on and my underwear on?" I said, "Sure." Like same thing. People are like when I'm like, I see. unwarranted penises. Don't want to see that. But do I? Sometimes.
Well, yeah, you're kind of just
We're just oblivious to it. We're like, we see this every day. We're not worried about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, but no, it was just weird. And then so now so that didn't cost me anything because it was I get like a free yearly thing, whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so then she recommended me to a specialist, right? First of all,
a specialist for what? For the hemorrhoids?
For the astronomy, yeah, because they can do like because they're inflamed.
Oh,
and they're not going away.
Oh, okay.
They can do like
removal.
they call it like what is banding, where you kind of put like small bands over them and then they kind of just come out. So yeah.
I heard that was expensive.
I don't know. I hope it's not, but I mean whatever. I want to get rid of these, so like because it's.
Yeah, I can see
it's very bad.
Yeah, I would say it's very annoying. I think that sounds painful. I think doctor's offices are embarrassing. I went for like my first time for my pap smear when I turned 21. I went literally the day after my birthday, April 20th, and she's like, "Give me your date of birth." I said yesterday. She said, "Really?" I said, "Yes, I turned 21 yesterday. I'm here for my pap smear." Whatever. It's her hands, because keep in mind she was not wearing gloves right when she did the breast one.
Oh, okay.
Her hands were freezing. That was her first patient of the day. I'm like, her hands. She's like, "I'm so sorry, but I have to do it." And I was like, "Your hands are so cold." And she's like, "Just keep an eye on them. Your fiance can obviously check," because she's like, our partners know our bodies because they feel on them all the time. He'll recognize if there's anything wrong. But the pap smear, oh yeah, it's weird sitting in stirrups and just having your legs really wide open while you feel like a contraption go through and scrape your cervix. And I just started my period too, so I was like, I hope that's fine. And she's like, it's fine, not a big deal. And I was like, she had a pregnancy test and everything, and I was like,
That's
you walk out and you just for the like next day you feel discomfort. You can just feel the discomfort. Thankfully, that's only once every 3 years.
Yeah, the girls at work told me about that when I told them about my hemorrhoids.
Yeah, they're like, it's like similar to a pap smear. I think that's funny because I also like Nick had to go to the doctors for like a checkup. No, a checkup. Go to the doctors to see his urologist, right, for the varicocele. And it was so, because I was in the room with him and we'd waited for like 30 minutes. She comes in, she says, "Okay, well, drop your drawers. Okay, so I can look at your balls." Right? And when I tell you, you're just standing there while a lady fondles your man's balls. And she's like, "Oh, yeah, I can feel the," and I'm like looking at it and I'm like trying so hard.
Ma'am, stop
and
talking.
My instinct is to slap his butt cheeks, but I don't while he's standing there. And he just is looking, just talking to her like normal, just like, "Yeah, whatever." And I'm like, quickening. She's like, "Yep, so we'll get you scheduled." And
that's the one reason I don't want to do physical. I really would just be so uncomfortable.
And I asked him, I don't think he was uncomfortable. He was like, "Was it uncomfortable for you to see another lady fall into my balls?" I said, "I was only thinking about slapping your butt cheeks the whole time. She could see your balls. It's okay."
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, "That's."
So wait, question. This is a weird question, but do you hold your up?
Who? Me?
No, like for like a guy, like does he hold his do you hold your dick up? Or
when she did the examination?
Like, is it covered or is it like everything's just
No,
out?
I think he had penis and balls.
Oh, you're just out.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Like,
that's crazy.
To the knees.
I would feel so weird. I think the thing was
he'd been to her a long time ago.
Oh, okay.
A long time ago.
So he's like, you've already seen it.
Well, I think it was a long time ago, but that was back when he was like, he didn't do any further scheduling. So he knew it was her, but I don't think like she's seen them before. I think he just was supposed to schedule with her, and he was like, "I've already, tried to." And so I don't think he was really worried about it, just because he was like, "I want my," like when he was like, "I have this," and I was like, "I don't know what that is." He was like, "It's basically like where it feels like a bag of worms on my balls."
Oh, damn. Okay.
That's the best way people explain varicocele is it literally feels like a bag of worms. And I was like, "Nah, I don't feel anything." Because, me being Inspector Gadget, I'm going to Inspector Gadget
you're
it.
like,
yeah, and he's not wrong.
Anything.
Right.
Oh,
and he was right.
Okay.
I felt the spot and I was like, "Does feel like a bag of worms." You can just feel like it's not good.
Yeah,
so he got them removed. And the doctor said his was pretty big. Like,
okay.
He probably was infertile because it was pretty big.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so.
That's good.
Good for him.
That's
now
good
he should be fertilized.
Oh, God. But we're not having babies now.
There you go.
So, like, we're not
worried about it.
Yeah, we're taking a little break.
Yeah. So I feel like everyone, like, when you go to the doctor for something the first time, it's like very.
Well, now I have to go get checked out by a dude. So that's gonna be the
Well, I
less
don't know.
fun.
Some people prefer, like, for like my OBGYN, I prefer
I don't
a
want an
girl.
old man in my ass.
Some people don't mind. Well, I heard for some people, for like women, when it comes like birth control and stuff, some women, I've heard that they've always had a female OBGYN, and then when they go to a guy, the guy was like, "Why are you taking this? That's like not good for you." Da, 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 da. And then I've also heard vice versa. So some, like, for me, an OBGYN, I would obviously have a woman, but push
Yeah.
come to shove,
I mean, if you had to.
if I had
But
to,
it's I think it's not about the gender, it's more just about the doctor. Like, if they know what they're doing, they know what
Yeah.
they're talking about. But of course, I feel like for women, for that, it's like they know what you're experiencing most of the time, or
That's
they can
true.
kind of like give you advice.
mm-hmm, that's
It's
true.
like a dude is just like, hey, don't do that. But then it's like they
You
don't
don't
have
know.
yeah, they don't have the context around
Yeah.
like being a woman.
Yeah. Okay, I
So,
can get that. Yeah.
I think it's I don't know. I think it's for me.
I feel like that's
yeah.
the same thing. Then you would want. I feel like then you would want a male to inspect your junk. Then
Well, no, not my junk is
for your
my
like.
butt.
I know, but like for a physical, like you would want a male because if something
Nope.
was wrong.
Nope.
Oh,
I'm okay. I'm okay.
I feel like but do guys get hard? I feel like they would. I guess not, because you'd be
Not
embarrassed.
hard.
You'd be embarrassed.
I just
I could
I
see.
don't know.
I wouldn't know. 'Cause
Nobody sees this.
I don't know.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
it's like
that's fair.
that's a very intimate part of myself. Okay,
But
I'm
women
not
don't
a very
care because
like,
we have to get like mammograms once
Yeah.
we turn 45.
yeah. You
and-
guys like you
yeah,
just have your
titties.
shit
Everyone's
out.
seeing our boobies
Yeah,
all the time. Well, not all the time.
but I feel like that's not as like I'm not saying that that's like not as revealing, but it's like
I feel like it's
this
not-
is
yeah.
what we got.
That's
you know
all.
what I'm
That's
saying?
the only
Yeah.
thing we got.
So like if
That's
you
fair.
see that, then that's like you're gonna remember that probably. When I shake your hand every time I talk to you, you're gonna remember what that looks like. And it's like that, knowing that is like
I think you're
So-
the only person who thinks that. Because
Yeah,
when I go to
probably.
my OBGYN, I'm like, when I went, I'm like, she's seen so many vaginas. She looks at vaginas every day.
I know it's just weird
Yeah.
because I
for
don't
you.
like I'm not like
Yeah.
I'm
I
very
feel
like,
like for me, I think it's different just because I work in the medical field. So I
Yeah.
see.
you're just like, okay, check it out. Am I good?
Yeah, I see. Like, well, it's still weird. Like,
Yeah.
but you always still get weird when you're like, you got to put your feet in the stirrups. You're like,
Yeah.
Like, do you even know what that looks like? What the
Yes.
clamp looks like? Yeah, that's a torture device.
Don't ask me why.
I'm
No,
not gonna.
I'm kidding.
So, like, some people don't care. Some people are like, I can understand why that would be like it's my first time. Also, I was like, don't look at me.
Yeah, but I think once I like
You're a little bit
once
self-conscious.
I get that checked out, I'll be fine.
Oh, okay.
Like if it's like the same person, you're
Oh,
like,
okay.
hey Jenny, check my testicles out. We're good.
Yep.
You know.
Make sure they're all good. Nothing
Yeah.
hard in there.
I think it's just the first one is just
That
gonna be
initial
odd
appointment.
because I never got it done as a kid.
Oh.
So it's like that's why it's like
I
as
feel like that also might be why he might have not been nervous when she had to check it
Yeah,
out.
he probably has gotten it done.
Yeah, I think Nick keeps up with his physicals, but I could understand. Like, I wouldn't know because I'm not a guy, so I
Yeah.
wouldn't know. Like, I feel like for women, it's just like you can't see the person. Like, you can see the person, but like there's like we have like a big drape over us.
yeah.
And I think for you, you're just like I had a
No, yeah.
tissue.
For you just
yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
okay. Here it is. Let me look down at you while you do it. Like that. To me,
Yeah.
that's just so weird to me.
Yeah. So I think it's definitely different.
It's more like I'm not gonna say like sexual, but it is more of like I feel like for guys it's more of like that's why there's a lot of fantasies with doctors because it's like I feel like
What? Who?
hold on sorry this is a guy thing.
Okay.
I think
I was gonna say
this is not really a woman thing,
Oh, okay.
but like it's like because you're literally like okay taking your pants off,
Yeah.
everything out.
Yeah.
Woman is like I'm not
Crouching.
gonna say honor. Yeah, like pretty much
Bending within.
eye level
Yeah.
to your junk,
Yeah.
playing with it. That's kind of that's kind of.
That's true. But I would think, why would you not want a man? Why would you not? Because there's like.
If you okay. It's like I don't
feel
know
like
how to
if-
describe
I feel
this.
like if having a woman is like nerve wracking, and it is that like you're.
But just having it, like
is
it's
it
like
equally as weird to
it's
have a
just
dude?
yeah. It's like
Okay.
especially if it's an older guy. Or like if it's someone your age, that's even worse. Like it's like if it's a dude in his 20s who just graduated and he's like, or he's like he's new to it and
Mhm.
everything. He's like, yo, what's up, bro? Let me check your shit out. Nice, dude. Like, it's like, you know what I'm saying? I don't want that. It's like, because
okay.
but also I feel like women are more professional.
Probably.
Like, in that space.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like a woman is going to be more like, okay, check it out. Okay, we're good. Okay, perfect. You're good. Like,
Yeah.
it's like, but a dude is like, huh, okay. Like, I feel like I don't know. I'm just saying. But for me, personal preference, woman. Especially the lady that did the hemorrhoid thing. Like, her, if she had to do my physical, I'd be fine. Because she was extremely professional. I did not
Can she
feel
be your PCP?
uncomfortable. I don't know.
Oh.
But
did you go to like a primary care office?
Yes.
Yeah, she can be your PCP.
Okay, so yeah. Because she told me to come back to get my physical soon. I should probably do that.
Yeah, she can be
Because
your PCP.
I didn't do it because I didn't know I had to, like, diet. Or not diet. I had to,
fast.
No one told me that.
I didn't know that either. You had to fast for a physical.
Yeah.
I must not be having a physical. Because I never, like, they still take
Well, they
my
won't
blood.
tell you, though. Like, for me, they did that. Like, they took my blood and everything, but they just didn't do the physical. And they said you can come back to do the physical tests and all that later when you fasted.
But I feel
I was
like
like,
fasting is for your blood. You have to fast because of your blood. Like the certain stuff that they check.
They still took my blood.
Oh, interesting.
I honestly, I don't know. Maybe for gut health or...
Yeah, because like at my job, we tell people with the initial visit, if you're getting like weight control labs, which checks like your glucose, it checks like your thyroid, it checks cholesterol, it checks, leptin, it checks all those stuff. You have to be fasting for those labs.
Okay.
So I feel like for your physical, that's what they're also checking is your cholesterol levels.
Yeah,
and all
it
that
could
stuff.
be all that. Yeah.
So I would assume that they would. No, I'm sure there's like things that like they can still test like your liver functions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But they won't be able to test like health issues like cholesterol and thyroid and stuff like that without you being fasting. So maybe you'll have more blood taken.
Probably. But yeah, no. So I did for the specialist without insurance, it was like $540.
Like the copay or the whole or the plus the visit?
Just the consultation.
Oh, okay.
Without insurance was $540, and then
that's not terrible, but it's not great.
It got cut in half.
That's good. Insurance paid for
insurance, yeah. So
yeah, I use my insurance a lot because I had to go to my dad was like, you're using my insurance quite a lot. I was like, well, I have because I was a new patient. They haven't established a regimen plan for me. Okay. So I had to go often, and also because when you have some type of arthritis, like my mom has rheumatoid arthritis, right? So the likelihood of me having arthritis, well, I have arthritis, but having rheumatoid arthritis is a possibility. They just can't diagnose it because I'm too young, and basically they're like, we can't, like we don't know why you're like this at the age of 22. We're gonna chalk it up. We know
you kind of have it, but
right, we're just gonna chalk it up to arthritis, right?
Yeah.
So I have to go back because every so often because they change my dosing. So once you change your dosing, you have to come back for a checkup to make sure the dosing is fine. Yeah. I came back. I think I went like a lot apart, like only a month or so apart, a couple like weeks apart, and then finally my 4-month follow-up is I think in February. But I'm supposed to be taking like 2,000 milligrams of sulfasalazine, which is 4 pills a day, and I have not taken my sulfasalazine since my cruise in November. So starting January 1st, I'm gonna get back on it.
Popping pills
because I need to get back on it and Celebrex.
Yeah, I've been bad on stuff too. Yeah,
I'm not good at taking medication. I'm very bad at taking medication.
Yeah, I just get lazy.
Same.
Oh, you want to know a good thing though?
What?
I'm saying this sarcastically, by the way. So my grandfather has Parkinson's.
Oh.
And there's like a 15% chance that my dad gets it.
That's mean you might have it.
And then if my dad gets it, there's a 15% chance I have it, and I think I have it.
Already?
Because I've already had like issues with shakiness.
Yeah. But Parkinson's is uncontrolled, so it's like people naturally are always
like my hand barely it's a little tremor. It's not still. Like sometimes
okay.
I don't know. If I have it, I have it. Fuck it. I don't care. I mean, it's just
I feel
how
like people
life
still
is.
live a decent life. Like
I mean, my grandpa's fine.
So cute lady on TikTok, right? Who's like old, right? And she goes to college. She's going. Yeah, she started going back to college.
Damn.
She's like 60s to 80s range, right? But when she talks, you can kind of tell. I think she has Parkinson's because the way she talks is, I went to this. Yeah. Kind of talks like that. But she's so adorable, and I love watching her videos. And in my head, I'm like, anybody bully her in the college, I'm jacking you up. Because leave that poor old lady alone.
No, I love when I was going to college and there was older ladies and stuff there. It was cool. I was like,
it's so cute.
I was like, yeah, like you do you. There was one lady who was kind of like a little Karen, but she was younger.
Yeah, screw that.
Like, what? Yeah, but no.
But
yeah.
like 60-year-old people. Oh,
but
adorable.
the issue with Parkinson's is like you have like a once you get diagnosed with it, you got like 5 years. Like that's what it says online. Like they say like once you
I
get
think
like
every
diagnosed,
person,
you get like 5 to 10 years and you're done.
I think that's subjective to people.
But
I think there is like there's no cure for Parkinson's, but there is medication to help your daily living.
Yeah.
I mean, and you can still do stuff. Like
plus,
it's just you can't do like you can still walk and you can still. It's just you have that. I think it depends on how active you are in your life. Like I feel like if you're pretty active, then then it won't bother you as much.
Yeah.
You just might be a little bit unstable. But people who like are not active and they get old and they end up having like, but you don't get like Parkinson's is like old, like till you're like, you know,
that's when you hit like 70.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, it's also like modern medicine will probably like figure that shit out.
Oh yeah.
Like I mean I'm 21, so it's like by the time how long is that? 59 years?
50 or something years.
No, what am I saying? 49 years to hit 70.
Yeah.
Jeez, that's a long ass.
That's a long time. Not worry about it. Yeah, that's like me. My dad has high blood pressure, which can be fixed with diet and weight loss, and medication, obviously. Nick also has hypertension, and Nick is 20. Oh, just kidding. Sorry. He's 30.
How old is he? Yeah, how old is he?
30 on the dot.
Wow. And you're 22?
22. Yeah, it's a 7. Well, right, currently it's an 8, but naturally it's a 7-year.
I get it though. Honestly, like the more like I've not dated, but kind of just talked to people about certain things and stuff, it's like my friend, like Dave told me, he was like, "Hey, I hate to tell you, but like the girls who are gonna want you right now are like 19, because I'm 21." And
I feel like there's still people though, maybe in your mid 20s to late 20s.
Yeah, it's just kind of like, I don't know, because I don't know, like that's the thing, I don't know, I don't want someone that age. Like I don't want a teenager. I really don't want to date a teenager. Like if they were super intelligent and aware of the world and like whatever, and weren't just on their phone watching TikTok all day, like maybe okay, but like that's kind of what that age is right now. So it's like,
I think it depends. I feel like I think having a good age difference, like I think between Nick and I, we have age differences. Like that gap, you can definitely tell like what he went through, what I went through, like phrases, like having to teach him like slang terms.
Oh yeah.
You know, like today he used the word shook and the correct.
Nice.
Right?
You gave him a high five?
Yeah, because I think I said, well, I shipped them. And he was like, what's that? And I was like,
God, he doesn't know what that means.
You know, so I have to teach him like slang. And it's cute because he tries, like, he was like saying something about cap. I said, you didn't use that in the right term. He said, no, I did. I said, no, you're supposed to like no cap. Like that means like no cap means you're not lying. But saying like that's cap means you are lying. He said, okay. And so now he keeps those things on the back burner so when he could bring it up. Yeah. Because he like today he was like, I shaved my mustache and Seth was, what's the term again? Shook. And I was like, that's correct, baby. He was shook. He was shaking them. He was shook. That's funny. You know, so it's cute because you know like that. But the guy I was dating or was talking to prior to that was in his late 30s, right? So we had a 15-year age difference. That you can definitely see. There is a giant. Like we worked well.
Yeah. But there's still like a generational gap.
And that difference was probably a huge part of why we didn't work because he was so like in his house and he had been by himself for however long and he was accustomed to that. And so with Nick, it's like we have a age difference, but it's not one where it's like generational, like where it's like I'm Gen Z and he's like a millennial. Yeah. Or he's whatever is before millennial.
Gen X?
No, before millennial. Like what our parents are boomers? What's
X? Oh. Yeah, Gen X.
Something like that. Yeah. So like there's, you know.
What's before that?
So I think cuz so like having that big of an age gap is I think was like there you have connection issues. But with Nick, it's fine. I think 7 years is not bad. Even like if you're like 10 years, it depends on person, because sometimes you can have a good connection with someone, like the 15-year age difference person. That wasn't bad. Like, I can't complain. I liked our routine. We were awkward with how things went, I think, but I don't think that we just didn't talk enough about.
But you two were in different stages.
That's also it. Yeah, and I think that also is it. Like, when you are not so far, but like when you have lived 10 more years of your life than I have, you're in a different mindset of like what you want to do with the rest of your life, right? Because you're approaching your 40s.
Yeah, you're getting to a point.
You know, you're getting to your point where you're now midlife, and I'm just beginning, you know?
Yeah.
So,
I'm just beginning.
no, like, and that's not a bad thing. So, because of that, I think that's also like why. And I still feel that way sometimes with Nick, where, you know, I'm like, do you have a difference? And I ask him all the time, where he's like, I don't care if I don't, having a kid in my 30s doesn't really bother me. I'm like, okay, cool. He's like, just because he's 30, he has the mindset, like, doesn't mean his life is farther than what it is. He can still start a life.
Yeah. I mean,
at that age.
Yeah. He's not at the age where it's like, okay, you got to move on, do some shit.
Yeah.
Like,
you need.
Yeah. He's still.
Think about retiring stuff.
Yeah.
And
like, I feel like once you hit 35, it's like, okay, put the big boy pants on.
Yeah.
Like,
what are we doing?
You got to think about the future.
Yeah.
And all that. But it's like, but.
So you just have to find someone who, like, I wouldn't date. I agree. I would not date anyone younger than me.
Yeah.
That's a no for me.
Yeah.
Also, this younger generation, I don't know what they got going on and what they putting in their milk, but it ain't it. Well, you don't count.
No, I know. I'm kidding.
But I'm talking like younger than us.
Yeah. You're talking about like more than a year age difference.
Yeah, like, I feel teeny weenies.
Because people say they wouldn't date younger, but they don't mean like the year. Like, it's like 20. So like 22, you might date a 20-year-old, 21-year-old.
Yeah.
And you might date a 23. So like when people say younger,
they mean like 3 years or more.
Yeah, like 2 or 3 years or more.
Yeah.
So that's what I've had to learn, because people say I don't date younger people, but then I look at them and I'm like, I'm not gonna say who, but someone said that, and I was like, I am less than a year younger than you.
Yeah, that day, like, I think a year younger doesn't matter. I think when you get to, I think it's when you look at your age. Like, if I was 25, like, putting it in like Nick's perspective, him saying that, because he had, he has dated a younger person and it just didn't work out, and she was, not his cup of tea. And so because of that, I think he might have the notion, like, I'm not dating someone the age of 20, and she was, I think, 21. So he's like, it's not happening again, right? And then I came along and I'm like, just kidding.
22.
Woohoo.
I'm right there.
What are you talking about? Yeah. Younger. So for him, I could understand, like, younger women, I would consider to be younger women where he wouldn't date.
Yeah.
But and sometimes you just gotta make exceptions.
Watch me date an 18-year-old.
No.
I don't want it.
It's not happening.
It's gonna happen.
I think go for someone.
I want someone older. Yeah, but that's
20. Well, I think that's too old. Go someone like 27,
like
26. Yeah, 26, 27.
I was saying like 25, like 24, 25.
That's not bad.
But I do look at the people who are that age, and I'm like,
that's what I'm saying. You gotta look at someone who's like 20, 27, between the 26 and 28 range.
But like has shit going for them. You know what I'm saying?
Like
it's like, I'm not gonna name names and out people, but it's like 26 to 30. Not 30. I don't think I could do that. Maybe I could.
I like my 30.
I could. But
he's so aggressive.
I could, but it's like,
I like how you're trying to convince yourself that you could.
I'm saying this is like a preference.
Okay. So which everyone has their preferences.
I'd say like 24 to 28.
Okay.
I'd say is like
that's a good range.
What I would look for.
Yeah.
But if like I hate to say it, but like if someone who was younger than me and I clicked really well with them, I'm not gonna like, nah, bitch. Like I'm not gonna do that. No.
Nope.
Yeah.
Next one.
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
Yeah. It's just tough because I feel like everyone around me is like, they get like not that they get lucky, but they get someone that just works. And it's like, for me,
those are hard.
It's for me, it's a bunch of girls who don't know what they want.
That's a problem.
And I'm not saying that as like a misogynistic way of like, I know what they want. It's more just like you're not being honest.
That's fair.
And that's what it's frustrating.
That's fair.
For me.
Because I'm like, I was always a person where I always was like, see, and it depends on people's mindset. Because some people, I think we talked about this before, where some people date to marry. Yeah. I don't do that. I date. I date for, well, I also feel like there's sometimes people come into your life who are not meant to stay in your life. Like people,
Yeah.
you know, people come for a season and the seasons do change. And so therefore you take what they give you and you enjoy the experience you had. Like I've had experience with a girl and we didn't last long, but the time I had with her was like the best time I ever had.
Yeah.
The guy I was with, you know, at the time that I was with the guy who we were 15 years apart, was I gonna marry that man? I know, because he didn't want kids, and that was like, you know, and people also like that who don't check their like what's important to them, like their deal breakers. They don't check that beforehand. Some people, I'm like, kids,
you're gonna know,
right?
Yeah.
With Nick, mine was my first question to even consider even talking to him was just effective. Are you a cat person? And he sent me 2 pictures of his cats. I said, check. That's all I need you to know. Boom. Not a cat person. Don't want you, because I'm sorry to say it, I have
cats.
Right, I have 2. If you don't like cats,
well, now you have a lot.
Yeah, now I have 7. But so there's just that. Like you just gotta be like you have to accept that sometimes you can have a even like not even having to classify it as a relationship. Like you had something with somebody, I guess so, but you don't need to put you also need to put labels on it. People are very used to be very heavy, like, well, we're talking, but we're not like, but he's not my boyfriend. I'm like, okay,
like, why does
but that's
that
still
matter?
But like, you may not be my boyfriend, but you're still my man. Try to talk to somebody else. Yeah, try to talk to somebody else, and we gonna have a problem with it though.
Yeah, it's interesting
kind of thing. So like when you find someone who, you know, you just have to find and talk about a dynamic, because some people are, I think also with the younger generation, they're in between, like either you're my boyfriend or you're not, or like I just want to mess around and I don't want nothing serious, but they don't say that. Yeah. You know, if that's what you want, you need to come out and say, I'm not here for commitment. I'm here for a good time. If that's not what you're interested in, then let's not even try to do it. Yeah. So that way you're not beating around and you're not like messing with people's life, because there are some people out there who want a relationship and get crappy people who don't want anything, and then there are people who don't want a relationship, and then the person they're with gets attached and they're like, whoa. Yeah. So
I think it's more like I want a long-term relationship, because I agree with what you're saying. I also I'm more in the middle of it. I do think like some people, like there are some situations that are like, okay, yeah, it's just temporary, just have fun, learn a lesson, move on. But I also do think it's like, I don't know. It is what you focus on. Yeah. So it's like, for me, it's like I could like get Tinder or Bumble and just like, okay, whoever I land with, okay, that's it. But it's like, I don't know. I think it's just tough seeing, like, because a lot of the people that date people around me in my circle, they know each other. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
dating an outsider to bring them into the group.
Yeah. So
I can understand that.
So for me, it's like, well, okay, but all the people that I know I don't want to date. So it's like
circle's not close.
Yeah, I kind of have to like, I don't know. It's weird, but I'm not like focused on it. It is just weird. It is weird being flirty with so many people that are like either in a relationship, or just like, you know, as I said, aren't honest with how they feel. And then for me to have to like sit back and be like, okay, what do I even do about that? Yeah. Because it's like, it's not my decision. And that's why it's really tough, is because it's a situation I can't control. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, it's their decision to choose to move forward with it or to just sit back. Because I'm cool with it. But it's like, also, it can lead me to resentment. Yes. Because it's like, well, okay, you like me. Yes. And you're like saying all this shit, being flirting with me, blah, blah, blah. But then
you got a man.
But then you go home to your significant other. And it's like, so I don't get that.
Which one is it?
Yeah, it's
Pick
like,
a side.
I don't get that. Because for me, if I'm dating somebody, I'm not flirting with anybody.
There you
go.
Like,
that's what I'm saying. Like, it does, okay, I could be a little gay with the homies. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could, as a joke.
Hey, my homies, baby.
Yeah, I'll be like, boy, yo, what's up, bro? How you doing? No, but like, no, like if I'm like in a relationship, it's like I'm not like focused on talking to other girls. Yeah. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. Like, I don't know. Everybody's different.
I think relationships become to be so hard because you have to, like, when you're with somebody, you have to keep, a lot of people talk about the spark, right? And I think I had to read, because I think at certain times Nick and I were in a rough patch, and I was like, there's something missing, right? And my old self used to outsource. So if I was missing something in my current relationship, I would outsource and go find it somewhere else, right?
See, I think that's a girl thing.
Yeah, right? So I I know, but myself, I've learned that about myself. So when I feel like there's a hardship between Nick and I, we always seem to like, we'll come together and say, hey, I have been feeling this. I feel something's left out. There's something not working here. What is it? Or sometimes I'll like, I think there's a point where I was listening to like podcasts and stuff. Yeah. There's one guy who talks about love, right? And I don't remember his name. I think it starts with J, but I bought a book by him that says 8 ways, or I bought a book by him. I hadn't read it yet though, because it's how you are with the same person for a long time and make a healthy relationship work for a long time and last. And I was like, I want to make my relationship last. And so when you have those laps of like, I'm not happy, you have to dig down and be like, why are you not happy? What is missing in this one? And I also have to teach myself, like, don't outsource, right? You don't do that anymore. You've grown. That's your past self. We don't do that anymore. We need to communicate. And so we've been working, I've been trying to work on my communication a little bit. I work really well with communicating, but
it takes time.
Yeah, like today, I had cooked. I went to work Friday morning, and then I came home, and I had to be at work at 6, so I had to leave the house at 5. Okay. I was in the kitchen from 1:40 to the time I was leaving, making Nick and I's lunch, right? Cooking and making lunch.
Yeah, you be whipping that shit.
Yeah, I'd be in the kitchen for a good time, okay? Yeah. And I made homemade. Everything was homemade. Like, I made, and keep in mind, I made not only like that chicken chipotle burrito bowl with all the stuff on the side, I also made like a wrap.
Sounds so good.
Yeah, but I also made like a sandwich wrap for him to take for work.
I didn't eat dinner, so it's like you're telling me this, and I'm like, hold on.
So I was like, okay, and I had told him before, like when I got home, like, hey, this is what I'm making us for lunch, the chicken chipotle rolls, right?
Yeah.
I just willy-nilly decided to make the wraps on my own, just because I'm like, well, he might want something. I remember him telling me he wanted something. So I texted him. I'm like, did you eat your dinner? And he was like, yeah, the wrap was really good. I said, okay, well, I worked really hard. I'm glad you like it. I worked really hard on it, right? And he said, oh, I only brought the wrap. And keep in mind, I told this man before I left the house numerous times, all of your lunch is on the top shelf. And on the top shelf is 3 containers of food, right? Yeah. The chicken chipotle bowl. Right, that I told him when I got home that I was making for him for lunch, and the chicken wrap.
See the eyes twitch.
And the chicken wrap, right? And I put a smoothie next to it, so it's
okay, you made like a nice little
connected, right? So he was like, well, I didn't know. I was like, I was like, do you even listen to me? Because I told you before I left the house numerous times what your lunch was. He was like, but I didn't want to take your food. He's got trauma from that time during Thanksgiving when he took my food at work, and I was mad. He got that trauma be getting him, and that got him today, and I was pissed. I was also really tired, and I hadn't napped, and I hadn't eaten. And I was like, so I had to text him like, I'm sorry. So I left. I saw him at the hospital. His truck was at the hospital. He had a stroke activation, so he's at the hospital, and he's gonna be in there a while. Okay. So I dropped a
context, because you said he had a stroke.
Yeah, sorry.
And I was like, wait.
We were working last night, and he had a patient who had a stroke, so he's gonna be in the hospital for a long time. And so I put a note that said, I'm sorry I got upset. I hope you enjoy these goldfish. Love you. Aww. And I put it on I put him on his chair. And I texted him. I said, I'm sorry I yelled at you, and I'm sorry I was upset. I was just frustrated because I worked really hard when I got home from work. I worked really hard for your lunch, and I feel a little underappreciated that you didn't take it. And I feel like you weren't listening because I told you multiple times at different stages that this is what your lunch was for.
That's man brain.
Yeah. Right, and he was like, and to find out that he drank the smoothie too. So I was like, so you drank the smoothie, right? And so it's smoothie. This is how I set it up: smoothie, chipotle bowl, wrap. So you drank the smoothie and ate the wrap, but didn't take what was in between those two things. How did make it make sense? And I was like, you know what? So I was like, he's like, there just wasn't enough. And then, right, I tell him, okay, we get over it. I'm like, I said, okay. So then I was like, well, you can try the food when you get home, right? And he was like, so what else did you make? I said, I made the chipotle chicken bowl, right? I made homemade pico de gallo, guacamole. It's got black beans, chicken, rice, right? He gets home, right? He beats me home. I said, you eat your dinner? He said, yeah, it was really good. And I look, this man only ate. He's like, but I didn't eat the chicken, rice, and beans, though. I literally was like, how many times? I was like, so he was like, I just ate the guac and pico de mayo. With what? He said, with chips. I said, that's for your dinner. It goes on top of your dinner. He was like, oh, I didn't know. I was like, there's cheese on top of that container that you had to take to get the chips and guac. Under that is, I was like,
you gotta explain this to him.
We just talked about it.
I know, but you gotta like.
He was like, there was not enough direction with that. I said, okay.
Like, the thing I
was like, where's the disconnect?
It's tough for me to explain this. This is just kind of like guy brain.
Okay.
Like I don't know. I guess it's different because it's like for me, it's like I am very like I don't really care if I'm being honest, right? So it's like for me, it's like if someone's like, okay, you got to do this, you got to do this, you got to do this, you got to do this. I'm gonna
Right.
pick up maybe one of those things.
Yeah.
Because it's like, okay, well, I'm thinking about everything I got to do today, and you're telling me about what to eat.
In
I'm
that
like,
order.
yeah, it's like I don't know, and I can understand. I understand both sides. I see it. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like it's like I see where you're coming from because you're like chefing that shit up, and he's not eating it, and he's not listening to you. But
Even
then also I see his side where he's like,
the guac looks good. I kind of
yeah,
want to eat
he's
that.
like that shit looks kind of fire. I'm gonna eat that
I'm
shit.
gonna eat that.
And then you're like, Nicholas. It's like,
It goes with your dinner.
You're just you just come home,
Hit it with a pan.
put the wife beater
Oh
on.
Lord, I was like,
take a drink. You're like Nicholas. Like oh
I
shit.
was so upset.
Yeah.
I got home and I literally was like, I literally, and then he told me, he was like, oh yeah. I was like, I saw you drink your smoothie. He said, yeah, I drank it when I woke up. I was like, so you ate the wrap and the smoothie, but not took the chicken burrito bowl. He said, no. I said, okay. I said, okay. So then when he left today, I said, Nicholas, from the smoothie to the wrap and everything in between goes with you to live for lunch. He's like, okay. I said, and he was like, well, how do I prepare? I said, okay, listen, Linda, listen, okay? I said, you're going to put the bowl, you're going to put the chicken burrito bowl that's got the beans, the chicken, and the rice in the microwave. Okay? He said, yeah. I said, then you're going to put the cheese on, put it back in the microwave, melt the cheese. He said, okay. I said, then you're going to put your sauce, you're going to put your pico de gallo, and then your guac, okay? Smear it. He's like, okay. I said, or if you don't care that it's mixed, make sure, because I put them in the same bowl, mix your pico de gallo and guacamole together, put it on top. He said, okay. I said, okay, that's how you eat it. Don't come back to me. He said, oh, I was like, man. I was like, I'm going to have to like, and you know what? I wanted to text him.
I could have kind of put that together, honestly.
Well, I think you would put it together if they were all stacked together. You're like, oh, these things go together, and you could have figured it out. But he didn't take it with him,
That's
so
okay.
I had to.
It's okay.
Yeah.
He's not underappreciating you.
So I was like,
He's
okay. He's like, I'm sorry. I said, it's okay. I just, don't have me. I'm just not gonna be in here chefing for 4 hours ever again for you. That's it.
It's also you kind of chose to do that.
Well, no, because we didn't have lunch, so it prevents us. Like, and keep in mind that we just spent $250. We just spent like $200 and some dollars on our groceries for a couple weeks.
You know what I do if I don't have lunch?
What?
I get Taco Bell.
Yeah, but he eats out a lot.
Yeah. Well,
and I'm also trying to get in that habit for the first of the year. Remember, I told you we're trying to lose weight, and I got to keep him accountable because I could be accountable.
Rice cooker, broccoli oven.
I have rice cooker.
Broccoli oven, grill some chicken.
No, I put my chicken in the
that's
air
what I'm
fryer.
saying. You're a chef. You do all the little extra shit. You gotta make the little sauces, and you gotta put this here, and you gotta make sure it's like this. For me, I'm just like throw that bitch in a fucking container, and whatever. I don't give a fuck. Put a little bit of honey mustard on that bitch.
When I normally cook, I put like normally rice and then this tops on it, but then I realized that it's a lot of food. It's probably too much food, right? So this time I tried to I put half the beans on one half, and then only half of it was rice and chicken, and that was still a lot. I was like, that was still quite a lot of food.
For me,
so portioning, I'm still trying to work on.
Yeah, it takes time. You just gotta figure it. And
I
feel like with meal prep, it took me a while to understand. Okay, what am I gonna want to actually eat? And even to this point, it's it's tough for me to want to eat chicken, rice, broccoli. I love it, but it's also, it's tough. But I think I kind of know what I want to do now. I think with the broccoli, the reason why is I was baking it and slightly overcooking it.
You should. I like steamed broccoli.
Yeah, that's what I have to do. It's nice. It keeps that kind of crunch. It's not I feel like with
soft.
Yeah, soft. Sorry. I think with baking it, it's it's kind of the
dry.
Yeah.
And it's the leaves, kind of the branches start to flake.
That's why I don't like that.
Oh, so, I don't like that.
But the rice is
it's easy rice.
Yeah, it's just easy.
It's
and
rice.
Then chicken,
put salt in that. Put salt in it and a little bit of oil so it doesn't stick.
I'm about to do my I'm about to make Asian food again because I think that's what I'm I think that's when it sounds good to me.
I like that, but I made chicken.
You said what?
I like that, but I made chicken. I tried to think. I was like, "What are you gonna eat?" And I was like, "What do you want to eat?" And I'm like, for 2 weeks, because I'm thinking of I have to make so many meals, but I have basically a gorilla and a vacuum cleaner and a garbage disposal of a man in my house.
Yeah.
So cooking, like I just get used to cooking
A
enough
lot. Oh, okay.
that it lasts long, because he's like, I have to tell him, like, you cannot come home and eat what I made that's meant for dinner. If you're hungry, you need to eat something else. Like, I bought 48 eggs. Okay, make a hard boiled egg.
Holy shit, 48 eggs.
Yeah,
eggs
because
go hard. Yeah.
well, I want to make like those egg muffins that you can put in the freezer,
Ooh.
so that I can take them to work.
Like little egg pops.
Like, yeah, egg muffins things.
Yeah.
Egg bites. That's what they're called. Egg bites. I want to make egg
those are good.
bites so that I can take them to work in the morning, and I can eat an actual breakfast in the morning and not be starving until
You
lunch.
don't like, you like peanut butter, right?
Yeah.
Okay. mean,
I just had peanut butter and apples.
Banana peanut butter apples. That's a good, like, honestly, that's a good easy breakfast. Like, but I will say, if you want a good, like, filling but like really good for you breakfast, is like,
I was thinking yogurt.
yeah, so you do low fat. Well, you're not gonna like what I'm gonna say.
Okay.
But you get low fat.
I have to go low fat.
But is it flavored?
Yeah, it's honey.
No flavor.
Oh, it's honey.
Yeah,
and
so
vanilla.
you do no flavor, and then you put honey in it.
Oh, mine already
So
has honey.
yeah, so you put like, yeah, you do no flavor honey. You mix that up. Make sure you have enough honey, because that should taste terrible without honey. And then you put granola. I normally do peanut butter granola.
Oh, okay.
And then like some blueberries. And I ate that for the first time when I started losing weight.
Mm-hmm.
I ate that shit the whole time I lost weight.
Oh, wow.
And honestly, that shit still sounds schmacking.
It does
right
sound
now.
good. I was thinking for mine's low fat vanilla honey vanilla. I was gonna do that. I used to do that, but I had like, mine would be peach flavored yogurt. It wouldn't be plain.
Okay.
It'd be peach flavored, but I would put bee pollen seeds on
Okay.
it. But I think they started to give me an allergic reaction and they taste kind of gross, so I'm not doing that anymore. And so I did those, and I think I'm gonna put like probably some whatever fruit I have. I think I have like these. They're like coconut clusters where they have. I have like 3 bags. I don't need. I bought 3 bags and I don't need all 3 of them.
Yeah.
And I bought them a long time ago. But it's coconut, chia seeds. I think pumpkin seeds.
Oh, I think my dad had those.
Those clusters, they're really and those
good.
and I like those in yogurt, and you crunch those up, put that in there, I think, and maybe strawberries and a little bit more extra honey or peanut butter on it.
Yeah, you know what? That's you're giving me my idea of what I'm gonna do for breakfast though. Cause like, yeah, normally because I've been just really bad at like getting up in the morning recently, just
Same.
because I've been staying up like with everything, like
man.
holidays and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So like normally I just get a banana peanut butter, super easy. I can eat it in my car, or I can like, whatever. But yeah, I do think the parfait is like the way to go, because it's a whole balance. Like, you get your protein, you get your fruits, you get your like grains, like get everything in the morning. So I need to go back to that. That's
same. I'm gotta start, but I'm like, then I have to wake up, I feel like, earlier in the morning.
Not really. I mean, you just throw it together. It takes like 5 minutes.
That's true.
Yeah.
I try to make all of my stuff the night before.
That's smarter. Yeah.
Yeah. So like you can just make, so that way I can still only, because I used to wake up at 6:40 and only have 10 minutes to get out of the house. But in that 10 minutes I have to, do all the stuff to get ready and feed my cats and make my lunch. So it's too much time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now I wake up at 6:30. Yeah. So now I wake up at 6:30.
6:30 peak time. I like if I wake up every morning at 6:30, but I've been so fucking lazy recently. Like, because the thing is, like, I started January like 6:30 every morning. Read, meditate, journal.
That's a great schedule.
It's
though.
great, but like
You're tiring.
you get burned out very quickly. And like, also, I kind of learned to just like, I don't have to listen to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I can do whatever the fuck I want to do.
Yeah.
If I don't want to wake up early every single morning, I don't have to. It doesn't mean I'm gonna be 0.0001% behind in my mental and physical journey. Sure, but do I really give a shit? Not anymore.
Not really.
I used to. But now it's just
I think it's hard. Yeah, I feel like it's hard because when you know that, but you also have to, like, if you're going to wake up early, you also have to go to bed early at a decent time. And I feel like I am typically one, especially when Nick is not, like, if Nick's working, I feel like I try to stay up late for him, just because I don't get to see him. So, like, on days I'm coming home, but he's waking up, he's got to leave, and so I don't get to spend any time with him. So I want to be able to talk to him before I go to sleep. So I typically, when he's gone, I typically go to bed after midnight between 1. If it's a bad night, between 1, like these last couple nights, I was falling asleep, like taking a nap, and I would wake up in the middle of my nap. So like around 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock, and I'd be up till like 4 in the morning. And I'm like,
Ooh.
so I go to work.
That's not good.
Yeah. And I have to wake back up.
And you're like
I have to wake back up at 6. And I'm like
in your car.
2 hours of sleep. Yeah. So then you're like, so then I did that for 2 days, and I was like, I'm over it. So then finally I'm like, I got to get back on that good schedule where like you go to bed. Because it's like, it's when you, I think that's the only downfall is because we don't work the same days.
Yeah.
So. But it's nice to have a nice schedule. Like I would like a nice schedule, and that's what I'm trying to work on, finding a nice rhythm to have it. Like
we'll figure it out.
We've now decided that I now have to, that he can't do the dishes anymore because I'm tired of telling that man, because I'm tired of telling him he's got to rinse the dishes before he puts them in there. And he doesn't do that.
Oh, he doesn't do that.
No.
Yeah, he's one of those people. I hate that shit.
And you know what? That's what his mom doesn't. His mom,
I hate that shit,
he
though.
grew up, same. He grew up with his mom just putting it in the dishwasher because she believes her dishwasher is a good dishwasher, will clean all that stuff off.
Nope.
Me, I'm like, you gotta watch. And I've asked him, like the last time I was like, do I need to go back and check behind? He said, no, you can trust me. I rinsed him off. I wiped everything off. Went in there. I had to rewash. And every time he does the dishes and he washes the dishes, I have to rewash them. So I said, you know what? You can't do it anymore. And even though, like, sometimes even before that, I was like, do you want to do the kitty litter or the dishes? And he'll always go the dishes. Or he'll always go kitty litter. So I said, you know what? You're stuck taking out the trash. You're stuck doing the kitty litter. I'm not going to tell you when to do it. You're just going to have to do it. I will just do the dishes. And it backfired on me the other day. He was like, well, I was like, tell him, I got to do all this stuff. He's like, well, I don't do the dishes. And I was like, fuck you, Nick. But whatever. I was like, that's fair.
You sound like my mom. Like, honestly, she's kind of the same way.
Fair game.
She's like, you don't do anything. And I'm like, okay, but you
told
want
me not to
do everything specifically how you want to, so I can't really like.
So I took my fault and I did the dishes and I do the kitchen. I'm just very particular. Like I'm very particular. Like if I feel like if I'm doing the dishes, I also have to clean the rest of the kitchen. Like the counters need to be done, the stove needs to be cleaned, the floor needs to be swept, kind of person.
Well, I mean.
And I feel like I just don't. I did that because I don't want to have to make more work for myself. So like if I'm going to put in new dishes, but the dishes that were supposed to be clean are dirty, that's twice as many dishes, which means I'm now behind on cooking. So it just makes my process a little easier.
Yeah, you
sound
like my mom in that situation.
Yeah, I clean my dishes. Like I'll clean my dishes. I'll clean the dishes before I cook, right? So that way I have whatever dish I need to cook, but it's not as many dishes from when after I cook because the sink's gonna be even more dirty. So it's like I have a system, and so we just decided that I'll do it.
Not what I do. I'm just like, oh, this pan's clean. All right, perfect.
Yeah, I reuse the same dishes.
Yeah.
Like I'm not a person that's like, get a new spoon. I'm like, no, I'll just wash up the spoon that I've used.
Yeah, and then just use it
and
again.
just use it again.
I do the same thing.
Yeah, but like,
yeah,
like I'm like, Nick will grab like a new like glass, and I'm like, why are you grabbing a new glass? He's like, why not? And I'm like, there's a glass in the dishwasher that's clean. You can just use that. And he's like, I'm like, it's clean, baby. Just use it. Like I'm religious. Like I'm using the same bowl. I'm using the same plate. I'm using the same utensils. I'm just washing them off every time I go. I'm using the same pans.
Well, it's easier. It's quicker. So
yeah, and I feel like ultimately it's less dishes.
And I wouldn't say less dishes. I think it would just be less time.
Fair.
Because it's like if you're emptying the dishwasher technically,
then
it's like you're spending less time emptying the dishwasher
and washing dishes. Yeah.
So it's like you're saving more time. I don't think it's less dishes. It's more just you're saving more time.
Yeah.
Because the same dish, it equates to the same thing. It's just where you're getting it from changes it.
Okay.
Right? Because it's the same object. It's not like it's any less clean. It's the same thing. But it's more just like if you take it out of the dishwasher, you're saving yourself that 5 seconds of putting it away. Right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So then if you keep it if you're taking it out of the dishwasher, you're saving yourself a little bit of time. So that time over time will save you maybe like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Whoa. You know what I'm saying?
Which is it's adequate time.
It is. I mean, it definitely adds up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. We're like 54 minutes.
Oh, Lord. Okay, so we're going to wrap this up. Basically, in 2024, we're going to get our schedules right. We're going to work on ourselves. We're going to lose weight. We're going to do all the fixings.
True.
Yeah. I think that's it. Thanks for watching. See you next week. Love you guys. Bye.
You
gotta say you didn't say the struggle podcast.
It's a sad time.
Woo, woo, woo.